Sup people, Queen Crazy here. It's Saturday, which of course means it is time for a predictions video to Night of Champions. Now, this pay-per-view, I'm happy because it's on Sky Sports and I can record it, watch it, not worry about paying any money. Thank fuck for that. But this pay-per-view, I have to say, looking at the matches, I've got this from a few people I've been talking to on Facebook. It's a pay-per-view which is interesting, but not one you jump out at. It's the matches are ones I think will be quite solid, but we'll have to wait and see for that, won't we? I mean, it's not the most well built up pay per view in WWE's history as well. Plus, knowing that they've got Hell in a Cell and Vengeance to do in October, I think best way is to get some of these out of the way. I think. But first, I have to say I'm interested. It's not really the best pay-per-view in the world structurally, but I think I could get away with saying I will watch it because obviously you guys want to see a review from me for the first time in quite some while. Anyway, first up we have Kelly versus Beth Phoenix for the Divas Championship. Now, this could be a turning point for their feud because I can look at this in different ways. Eve can screw Kelly out of it. Beth can win clean. And actually, I could probably say Natalya. Well, actually, I wouldn't say Natalya screwing Beth is a good thing, but then again, she could help instigate a dirty finish. All in all, though, the heel has to win. Beth has to win this, right? Because you can't build up the Glamazon to be dominant, which she has done a few weeks on SmackDown, to only lose, really. I mean, I honestly think, if this feud is to go anywhere and make it believable, Kelly has to lose this one because she's not really done much to prove herself as a true Divas champion because she hasn't taken on the best talent and proved she can win too much. I mean, winning against Vicky Guerrero in the worst match of the year is obviously not going to be proving yourself as a true champion of your division, is it? So, and to be honest with you, the same rule applies for female wrestlers as it does for male wrestlers. You can't build someone strong to lose to the champion because the good guy always wins. I hate the way that works, and I don't think it should be commonplace for the Divas. So, for feud progression, Phoenix to win, new Divas champion. It makes some form of sense, doesn't it? Next up, we have Cody Rhodes defending the Intercontinental Championship against Ted DiBiase. Is it just me, guys, or does this feud have insufficient build to it? I'll tell you now, Cody will win to further establish himself as the head heel in the mid-card. No extra description is needed because I don't think sorry. I don't think Ted's ready for this. Personally, he needs to build himself up more before he gets anywhere near this. More mic work, more exposure. Sure, he punched Cody in the face on SmackDown yesterday, but he hasn't done much to really make himself known out there. Cody has with his epic gimmick, and that's why he's Intercontinental Champion. So Cody retaining the title seems the only logical explanation from me. I've woken up with a bit of a cold this morning. Not good. Next up, Dolph Ziggler defends the United States Championship against Alex Riley, Jack Swagger, and John Morrison in a fatal four-way match. Now, I do not know why John Morrison's in there. It's just one of those. It's annoying that they're doing this just to fill the card out. I hate that. I hate just putting people in just because you want to put everybody on the show. That's just bollocks. You have to build them into a storyline before you do that to make it seem relevant, people. But at least these four guys do get exposure. And I know Riley is at least in there because he has been pissing off Ziggler, so that at least gives him some relevance. It should be a good match. For storyline purposes, I see Swagger winning this one. First, to get one over on Ziggler, and also second, to show Vicky who she should stick around with and be manager of. It should be a good match, and that should be a perfect ending to it. It makes a lot of sense. Sure, we could also have Riley screwing over Ziggler and continuing the fight of, oh, Swagger may hit the finisher move on Riley, and therefore, basically, say Swagger hits a finisher move on Ziggler, Riley then pins Ziggler. The rivalry between Ziggler and Swagger could continue further to a match at Hell in a Cell, for example, winner gets Vicky's management services, maybe. It's not going to be as interesting as Test Steiner, but, yeah, it'll definitely be something I could probably see watching. It probably make this a lot more interesting, I tell you that for sure. But I could see something like that happening. But I still think Swagger's going to win it because it'll just make the rivalry go forward a lot better, really, wouldn't it? I mean, it just makes sense to see Swagger win this one. And then we get to the match, which, amazingly, I don't believe it's even happening because it's a tag team title match that we actually give a shit about. But Air Boom, Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston taking on R-Truth and The Miz, or better known as Awesome Truth to the fans. And this has the potential to be an absolutely great match with non-stop, fast, cracking action. I love that. I can't wait to see it. Because it's just a boost. It's just the boost the tag team division needs, with 4 guys who are competent on their own in the ring, but as teams fit so well together. And you know what? This should be awesome. No pun intended, Miz. And that's the truth. I couldn't resist doing that, seriously. The only way I could see this match ending with the feud advancing further is that a bad refereeing decision screws Awesome Truth out of it. Because I can see this being done as Truth tagging in the Miz, the ref not seeing it, sending Truth back to the corner, and then back out in there, and then getting his ass handed to him, and then everyone winning, and then somehow the referee showing bias towards the champions, reinforcing the conspiracy of having PG friendly champions out there, which actually makes a lot of sense. But many people are saying that Miz and Truth will win. I don't think they will, because as you obviously know, these 2 guys, Bourne and Kingston, are over with the crowd. They're not going to lose. It just makes sense to me. If this all plays out well, this should be a fantastic match. They can build the champions, and the contenders will still look strong and fit with their gimmick of conspiracies going into it. It'll work, won't it? I really do think I'll work to it. So, champions to retain, I'm afraid. Next up, CM Punk taking on Triple H in a no disqualification match, and if Triple H loses, he must resign as the COO. Now, I was expecting Nash versus Punk going into this, as we all did, so it surprised me to see this, but at the same time, due to Nash's age and his lack of in-ring work since the Royal Rumble, you can kind of see this was expected, really, couldn't you? But some say this match is happening too soon. But then again, after the weeks of verbal abuse that's been going on that Triple H has had, or due also to the state of his manhood and all that stuff, belittling him, I can understand why Triple H would want to get his hands on Punk, especially in a no DQ situation. It'll be exactly what this feud needs, because it's been building up. On SmackDown now and on Raw, they've been going at each other with so much basically the perfect amount of verbal abuse you'd expect from an intense rivalry. And I saw the promo on Friday night that they're going to put on the pay-per-view, and I just thought it was the perfect build-up promo. It was just fantastic. No in-ring work really needed. It was just a complete war of words, and it's now going to completely go out. This should be great, though. I think if there's any reason to buy this pay-per-view, do it for this match, because it will be the only thing I believe you're going to go completely mental over, just like I am. For storyline purposes, though, people are saying Triple H will win because obviously he can't resign as the COO because he's only just got the job. On the other side of it, though, Punk winning would be fantastic. Could you imagine him coming out on Raw, Triple H really disappointed with himself, upset with himself, and then Punk just comes out and rips the shit out of him? Imagine how epic that would be. And it would be fantastic with this stipulation of him resigning, because it would be the victory of all victories for Punk, wouldn't it? But it would make him so much stronger with his mic work afterwards, wouldn't it? But also, it would give a chance for those douchebag yes men to actually bail Triple H out of it and have a clause in the contract saying if he was resigned, he could do this and this to screw Punk over or make something happen to keep Triple H in power. Why did I say Vince all of a sudden? And it could turn him heel in the process, because all those douchebag yes men quotes could actually be true. In fact, it could be putting a piece of legislation in there that could make John Laurinaitis the COO and make Punk's life a living hell. I mean, that could be a fantastic piece of storyline. And in honest opinion, that can only happen if Punk wins. This isn't bias for CM Punk here, because you know I love him. But still, I'm not looking at it from a biased point of view from a fan perspective. From a storyline perspective, it would work out better, because I don't want to see Punk's immense push being buried by Triple H winning, and you couldn't build anything from the storyline, that perspective, that way, could you? So, storyline perspective, Punk wins. Easy. Then we have Del Rio versus Cena for the WWE Championship. And to my annoyance, we had this match. I didn't want it, and honest to God, I can see where this is going. Cena winning. But, despite all of this cowardly crap that's happened with Del Rio, and also because it's not his fault, it's his visa problems. But, he has to beat Cena clean. I think Rodriguez is going to be too scared to go anywhere near Cena, and after the introduction, he's probably just going to run off like a scaredy cat. And I don't care how immortal Cena is, because I also don't care how they've built Del Rio, because it's not really his fault. Cena has to lose this, because I don't want to see Del Rio be buried into mediocrity just as soon as he's won the title, because I don't like champions who are built like that. I don't like that at all. So I'd rather see a new champion going over giant inflatable warhorse, because the warhorse in John Cena needs to be buried down to show that in this company the golden boy can never always win, because it's just the polarity of the universe. It's like in normal sports, a big giant can be beaten by a meager team. Same thing goes here. Cena has to lose. I don't want him to win for a lot of reasons, but I just want Del Rio to be built strong again by him winning. Makes sense. And then finally, Randy Orton versus Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight Championship. And despite me stating many times, right, before on some occasions that Mark Henry doesn't deserve the title reign, because I don't feel he deserves it, no matter how long he's been in the WWE, and he's on the run of his life, I do want to have him stopping the Viper from dominating SmackDown. However, if Del Rio wins earlier in the night, like I predicted, then a face has to win this match. And I can see Orton winning by logic. Only just. Could be from a dirty finish, disqualification, interference by Sheamus or Christian. I could see this going in multitude of directions. Or Henry does win clean. But I do not want to see Orton winning clean, because if he does, that will ruin Henry forever. But I got an idea for this, and a lot of people I've told this about have actually agreed with me. This is a fantastic idea. Seeing as Christian and Sheamus are still technically involved with each other in a feud, and also Sheamus probably still has a bone to pick with Mark Henry. So, I would love to see this at Hell in a Cell. You can imagine this, because Henry wouldn't be done if he does lose, Orton would have a rematch, etc. It'll build up together. Imagine this. Sheamus versus Orton versus Henry versus Christian. Fatal 4-way Hell in a Cell at the pay-per-view of the same name for the World Heavyweight Championship. Would that not sell Hell in a Cell for you? Because it would definitely sell it for me. That would be worth every penny. That, to see for the first time since Armageddon 2000, a Hell in a Cell with more than two participants, would be such a great move. Because it would actually make for an unpredictable Cell match for the first time since this gimmick pay-per-view thing turned over. And it could happen either way if Henry or Orton win, so I really don't give a shit. As long as it gets done, I'm happy with that. It should be great. I think if that match is ever made, I'll be the happiest person on earth. And guys, that is my predictions done right there. I hope you've enjoyed. What are your predictions? What are your predictions, people? It's all important to know. Put your notions down there. You haven't subscribed yet, people? I'm sure there are some people out there who haven't. Click that subscribe button up there. Q&A moderator is slow open for a week. Click the button up there and you go to the moderator and you will get to answer your questions. I got some really good questions in the last couple of days. I'm really happy you guys have put some in. And they're really interesting ones, although one question is a bit silly, but then again, I'm going to answer that when it comes to it. Guys, I've been Queen Crazy, you've been people watching, and I hope you enjoy this pay-per-view as probably I will. Hope it keeps up in line with the last two they've had, definitely. And I'll be up watching it live on Sky Sports. So if you want to talk to me on Facebook, you can add me on Facebook. You can add me on MSN as well on my page, because I'm ready to talk wrestling. You all know it. So I'll see you guys on Monday for my review of the thing. See ya.